Well, to get to where you want to be, you have to know where you are. So let's have a look at this thing at this point. I've got the overarms extended, and there's two 3.5-inch diameter overarms. They have a gear rack machined in the bottom of both of them. They both can be moved independently or together. Now that's an option, is to feed the cutter into the bushing using the overarm. But, okay. Now, these overarms were rusted in place, and I had to completely remove them and clean this up. And I almost wasn't able to do that. It's just a miracle I was able to save this machine. It was very, very difficult to get these overarms out, and I'll show you some of it. Now, I got this set on 0, and it reads half of what it actually is. And I got it on the bottom here of that bushing, okay? So I figure the bushing's 10 or 12 thousandths out from the spindle. So I'm going to put the lock on, okay? I'm going to pull it on, and it deflected from 0, little over 1.5 thousandths. So these overarms, they're very accurately machined, but better than 0.5 thousandths tolerance across them. But one of them is 1 thousandths bigger than the other, so they were fit into the hole in the casting of the machine. And it has to have some clearance to move. And with this weight and the sag and all that stuff, the clearances cause that stuff, and it just is. So we got to contend with that. I want to get this as close as possible, so I'm going to take that sag into account. Here, I'll take the lock off. See? And I'll put it back on. You can see it. It's actually pulling up. Okay? Okay, we'll have a quick look around the other side here, and I can show you better from here some of the damage that was done, when the overarms rusted in in this machine. To get the camera up a little bit, and so it's a kind of a constant thing. Now the overarms are steel, and steel rust worse than cast iron, so there's hardly any damage to the cast iron. This thing was covered with rust. You can see the really nice hand scraping. I really like that style. Okay, so I'm going to get the cutter in there, and what I'm going to do, I got this vise here. Get back around. I'm gonna pull the lock on, lift it up like that. Then I'm gonna grab this thing in the vise and release the lock, and then feed this into the cutter. Okay, we'll give that a try. And I hope you're all doing good and having fun in your shop. I have a pretty good time with this. Okay. Those auto milling machines are really pretty awesome. That's pretty neat. That boring head's really extended. Okay, I'm going to continue to bore this, and it's looking pretty good. I'll grab the camera here, see if we can't have a quick look at that. It's getting a reasonable finish. Oh, it looks pretty good. See, can you see it? It's good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it within a few thousandths of size and finish it in the Sunnen Hone. Okay. I'll be back to show that. Hey, okay, over here at the Sunnen Hone machine. And it's just a great machine for what I'm doing here. Now, I've got a dial bore gauge here, and I got it set for the diameter of the hole using this bench micrometer. Okay, so this is set. Okay, now I bored this hole in line with everything, but to get a real precision fit, I'm going to use the Sunnen Hone. Now, since I bored it in the machine and in place, and the Sunnen Hone follows the easiest path, so the Sunnen Hone's not going to change the direction of the hole at all. And I've got it just a little over 5 thousandths from sides. So I got the mandrel, the Sunnen mandrel in there. This is kind of a long one. I used it for hydraulic valves at one time. I put the sleeve on it and trued it up. There's this one's got a row of 3 stones, and the shoe is built in. It's not replaceable. Okay, kind of a lesser expensive mandrel than the P-type here with the replaceable shoes. Okay, so the first thing you do is you put it on there. We'll get it on there, and we'll load it. Note where I got the spring pressure. It's a small hole, so I'll use the upper spring pressure. Older machines like the 1290D don't have this, but it doesn't matter. The regular pressure control does everything anyway. I think they did this because the smallest mandrel that they list for this is 1/16 of an inch. So you would have very light pressure, and that's probably where this thing would come in more handy. Okay, so I have the machine shut off, and back off that feed dial, and I'll push the foot lever all the way down. Okay, let me get this. I got the arbor here for that we're fitting to. Okay, so I'm going to start cranking the dial here. And I'm going to load it right there. They say bring it to a line or something. That might be a good spot. I think I need to do some more adjusting on this machine. I haven't done it for quite some time. You go through a procedure, but the machine's so simple in the way it works, it'll work just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna take my foot off, and you see the spring pressure's off, and I can move this, right? Push the foot down, then it's stuck, okay? Somewhat. So it's going to cut pretty fast at first. And, okay, I'll flip the machine on. Get the oil on there. Get some oil on me. Something like that, I guess. Yeah, we're still going good on the camera. Okay, I'll put my hand on it, and you got to be careful. You don't want to get wrapped up in this thing and let go if something, sticks. Now watch that dial up there. See it climb down? It's cutting. And I'm going to stop it right at 5. Well, stop at 5. Okay. Now I can remove it off the mandrel. Take a little bit of drag here. Slip the dial bore gauge in. We're still about 5 thousandths under, so I'm going to cut it quite a bit. Now if you go too far, then you've gone too far and you have to start all over. It's harder to put the metal back in. And take it out. Okay, here we go. Now watch that dial up there. I'm going to work the whole mandrel here. A little squeaky. Okay, I'm going to stop at 3. Okay. We stopped at 3. Okay, see where we are. Holy cow. Let's see how we fit here. Not quite yet. Check it again. See how we're doing on taper. A little bit of taper there. Okay. Go the other direction here. Now you can watch that dial climb down and it's removing metal. Okay. See where we're getting to. I might have to reset this gauge. It has a very limited range. Okay. Oh, we're getting close though. Okay, I'm going to reset that gauge and I will be right back here. Okay, I'm back. My gauge got a little bit sticky and I had to put a little spindle oil on it. So anyway, I got this thing checked out here and we're just about 3 thousandths or so under size. So I'm going to put this back on the mandrel and I'm going to put the foot pedal down. And I'm going to load it up a little bit. I'm going to put it up here at 5. Just seems to be cutting good without much pressure on it. Okay, take the foot off, power on. Get the oil squirting on there. Okay, here we go. Now I'm finding the tight parts on this mandrel. It wants to squeak a little bit up front there. Okay, I'm going to check it right there. 3.5. Okay, about 1 3/4 to go. And it's on. Really tight there. I don't like working it right there. I'm going to try it right there. Right at 2. Okay, I'm going to give it a check on the part. It'll just start. It'll just start. Oh, see? I don't know if you can see that, you couldn't. But it'll just start on that milling arbor. And I stopped at 2 and I was working back here. I'm going to check it there. Still showing about a thou from too much. I have zeros, have it set on 0. It'll actually start going on that shaft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank in another couple thou here, get a little more load on it, and finish it. It's the black art of Sunnen Hone. There's a lot of feel to it. And I'm very, very close, and I don't want to do anything too radical. You can feel it cut. Stopping at 2. It cuts bronze fairly fast. I'm using silicon carbide stones, 6/10 from from the maximum. And I want to get a feel on this thing. It's still a little too tight to run. Kind of hard to get off there now. Come on, there we go. Okay, I'm not going to touch anything. And I'm going to dust it out. Just a couple tenths. Couple tenths at a time. There we go. Feeling it cut good there. Okay, I dropped down 2/10. See where we are with the gauge. I think that's it. That is absolutely it. Oh yeah, nice, no wobble. The perfect Sunnen Hone feel. Okay, thanks for tuning in.